What's up, you guys? And welcome back to another episode of your favorite Aunties podcast.
So today,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that we had to talk about this season.
Mm-hmm.
I have been apprehensive to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
scared to talk about it, but very, very real. We both have had an experience with depression over the last year, I would say. Right?
Yeah. Year and a half.
Year and a half.
2 years.
And mental health.
I'm being serious.
Mental health is very important.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about it because I know that some of our viewers and listeners are probably in the same boat, whether diagnosed, undiagnosed, clinical, seasonal. We'll talk about what all of that means, but it's important to talk about. And I wanted to be real with y'all and let y'all know, like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows that Auntie Nia been going through it.
Auntie Sham, been there right along with you.
So I guess I'll just kind of start off with a little background. So I know that last year, I can't remember what part of last year, I noticed that I was always sad. That even when I was happy, I was still sad. And I described it as an undercurrent of sadness. Like, it was just always there, and I just couldn't shake it. Like, I should feel okay, and I can't even remember the last time I felt okay. I can't remember the last time I felt genuinely happy without having something in the back of my mind or in my heart that just felt off.
Yeah.
And so I had taken a break from therapy. I went to therapy for like 2 years straight, and then I had taken a little break. And as God would have it, my therapist had reached out to me like, hey, want to do a check-in? Let's schedule a session. And I was like, okay. So in telling her that, she was like, depression. And I was like, okay.
Fits. Seems like it fits.
Yeah. But she was just like, I don't know if it's clinical or seasonal. So clinical being like chemical imbalance, or seasonal, like there's just circumstances in your life that are making you feel sad, that you're not able to overcome. And so we just had to go through like a period of observation where I just continued to meet with her and talk to her to see like if it changed once my circumstances changed or if it didn't. And so I remember talking to you a lot about it. And we joked about it, but also I know that it's very serious.
Yeah.
And I know that other people may not have a therapist to tell them, hey, you are experiencing depression.
Yeah.
They may feel overwhelmed. They may feel just exhausted all the time because I was very, very tired all the time. Or just one sign for me is I want to sleep all the time.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of don't want to be awake. If that makes sense. Like that's the only
time. You want to live.
No. Yeah.
You want to
live, but that's the only time my brain would just like get a rest because I was constantly just thinking about what was going on and what I was unhappy about and what I couldn't change and all of that. And then just kind of experiencing loss after loss in my life, or not even loss after loss, but just things not changing that I really, really wanted to change for a very long time, and being like, okay, God, okay, my emotions are like, all right, I'm gonna head out. My hope is like, all right, I'm gonna head out. My happiness, all right, I'm gonna head out. So that's where I found myself towards definitely the last half of last year. What about you?
Well, I know for me, you've been right alongside of me for like the last year. I mean, you've been in my life for some years now, but I know the last year and a half has been super, super tough. And it got to the point where you had a real conversation with me and you let me know that you wanted me to prioritize my mental health because I was incredibly sad and I was crying all the time. And I remember specifically having a breakdown when I was on my way to work. I just started crying. And I was like, why am I upset right now? Nothing is even happening. All I'm doing is driving to work. And I told you, and I think before that I had a breakdown and you were okay. Yeah, it's time to have a talk with you. I really want you to prioritize your mental health. So I went back to therapy because it had been some years since I had been, because I was doing good. But I noticed that every day when I went to work, I would get up at the last minute. It was like I could not physically get out of the bed until I knew no, like you need to get out of the bed right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't until that hardship that we talked about in the previous episode. It wasn't until I knew that there was going to be a real consequence to me not getting up. So I would. But when I would be off, I would be up early. You know, it was things like that. And when I finally started going back to therapy, I think I was 2 sessions in, or maybe 3 sessions. And I was just talking to my therapist. We were having like a good session. Then all of a sudden she was like, did I told you that I diagnosed you with depression, right? And I was like, no, you didn't, but
okay. Yeah. Sound about right. Sound about right.
Yeah. That sounds like it needs to be, you know, the thing, and it was.
Yeah.
And I was just going, and thankfully for me, I'm blessed enough to have a lot of people in my corner to where depression didn't have me. You know, like, yeah, it got me. I was in the ropes, you know, but I still had people in my corner who were helping me along the way.
Yeah.
So yes, the depression was very real, and I still feel like I'm going through it, but I'm coming out.
That's good.
Like I'm definitely, you can tell that I'm definitely not in the same mental space as what I was whenever all that stuff was going on. But it was really hard.
Yeah.
Because mine definitely showed up with the whole sleeping thing, and physically not wanting to get out of the bed, not wanting to clean. Like, you know, it's hard. People think, oh, well, you know, you might be a messy person. Like, no, my head is jumbled up and I just can't figure out how to get out of here.
The outside looks like the inside.
Yeah. And I knew something was going on. My car would be junky and stuff. And I'm like, because I can keep my car clean, my room. But, you know, my car, I kind of do it. But my car has always kind of been a representation of what was going on inside my head anyway.
Oh, that's good for you to note that and be aware of that. Because one thing that's important is depression looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think before we started having these great conversations about mental health and stuff that the pandemic kind of brought on, you always think of depression as this person that's like crying all the time, or, you know, like there's just this actual look that you think it has. And there's people you sit next to every day who are depressed.
I can guarantee if I told some of the people who were in my life who weren't as close to me, they'd be like, ShaMarian depressed?
Absolutely not. Never. How?
What? Like,
she's laughing. She's smiling.
Laughing all the time.
Yeah,
like,
she's having
the
fun.
Life of the party.
Yeah.
Like, party don't start till I walk in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whole time in the parking lot, I had to talk to myself and like really buck myself up to say, okay, you going in there, everything is fine, everything is going to be cool, or at least hold it together long enough to get back to your car.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, I really was going through it, but I'm the funny friend. I'm the lighthearted friend.
So nobody checks on you.
Yeah. She good. She good. Like, what do you mean you're sad?
And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but you think because you see people smiling and laughing and stuff, because that was one thing where a popular man ended up committing suicide, and everybody was like, no, but he was just posting videos last week and he was dancing and he was smiling. Yeah. It looks different for everybody. Right. They could be smiling in your face.
All the time. They want to, okay, I'm not going to go there.
No, they could be smiling in your face and really be like, really going through it on the inside. So you definitely, I like that we do check-ins, like, how are you feeling? Yeah. Not like in your body. How are your emotions? Yeah. How are you feeling mentally and emotionally? And I love that because it gives you the space to not just be like, I'm okay. Yeah. Because that's what most of us do. Yeah. I'm all right. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. It's just like a knee-jerk reaction. Somebody says, how are you? I'm good. Yeah. You don't even take time to think, am I really good? Yeah, no. You just say, I'm good, because that's what you're supposed to say. Yeah. So allowing people the opportunity, not just say, how are you mentally? Yeah. How are you emotionally? It provides more of a space for them to really be honest with you on that.
I really love that I am in the place in my adulthood where I have friends who are emotionally intelligent. And who are concerned about my mental health, and I'm concerned about theirs, where we can have those conversations like, hey, Nia, like, are you okay? Because I kind of noticed that when you were going through this is how you acted, and now you're kind of doing it again. What's this or what's that? Or we can actually just have those real conversations and not sugarcoat nothing, not have to, put on a face. I can just be very open and honest about what's going on with me, and they listen.
That's important. That's important, because one thing that depression does is it isolates you. Because you feel like you're alone, you feel like you can't talk to anybody, you feel like nobody will understand, or you feel like people will judge you. Right. Especially as a Christian. Yeah. Because I was going through it like, I'm a Christian, I can't be depressed. What do you mean, depression? I am saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. What do you mean?
The evidence. Listen.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
The joy of the Lord is my strength.
It is.
What? And fighting that was really tough for me. And like accepting this can be my reality. It doesn't have to be the future though.
Come on.
This is how I feel right now. But I'm going to utilize the tools. And tools include prayer.
Yeah.
Tools include worship.
Yeah.
Including the therapy and the things that my therapist is working through with me to get on the other side of this.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to let it have me.
Christ and therapy, amen, it will not have you.
Mm-hmm.
But Christ and therapy is really big. I know that sometimes like, oh, all you need is the counseling from your pastor. Baby, go to your pastor. Yes.
And they're not usually a mental health professional.
Also, go to a mental health professional. There's nothing wrong. You go to a professional to get your hair done, to get your lashes done, your nails done. Go to a professional to get your mental health in check.
True. Because like I said, you could pray, you could do all the things, but sometimes you need a little bit more. Yeah. And I know at one point I wasn't shaking and I really did consider like, do I need to take medication? No, I can't take no medication. I'm saved. Like, what do you mean medication for depression? Yeah. But it wasn't shaking and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't be happy for some reason. Like I really want to be happy and I can't. And thankfully, as I was talking to my therapist, we worked to the bottom of it being me being stuck in the same cycle that was making me really sad because I thrive on progress. Mm-hmm. And so not having progressed in the way that I wanted to. I know from the outside looking in, people always say, Nia, you are tripping. You do everything all the time and you do it so well. And I appreciate that. But for me, it wasn't what I wanted it to be for a long time. And that made me really sad. And I just like spiraled backwards. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, I think you just need a win. And a win is going to really set you up to break out of this. It's just a seasonal thing. And so when I got the new job, it really did make a difference. Yeah. Like it didn't just turn off, but I felt myself on the other side because it's like I finally got a win. Yeah. I finally got something where I'm like, this cycle is breaking. Mm-hmm. I'm not stuck. I'm not here forever. I'm not unworthy of my life changing, undeserving of what I want. And that really was like the turning point for me. Thank God.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Depression is it can be really scary. Mm-hmm. And for as much as you and I laugh and joke and all that, times got real. Yeah. I mean, I know there was a time when we talked and I called and what you text me?
I said, busy crying. I'll call you later.
And we can laugh about it now.
Mm-hmm. But I was serious.
In that moment, like, no.
I need you to know that I'm not ignoring you. I'm just crying right now. Yeah. But I will call you later.
Busy. I'm busy crying. Actually, I cannot take a break from this to entertain what we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And that is really hard.
It is. I remember, I don't know when that was. I think that was this year. Mm-hmm. But I remember last Christmas. So Christmas 2022. Christmas is my favorite holiday, y'all. Like, I love holidays, but Christmas is my absolute favorite. I cried on Christmas. Mm. Just cried. Mm-hmm. Tears. Yeah. Running, sitting on the couch. I remember just tears. And I was like, God, this is my favorite holiday. I'm always so happy on Christmas. And I am so miserable. So miserable. Just unhappy with what life looks like right now and why it hasn't changed and how I've done all the things. I remember I was talking to my apostle. I always talk about him.
Shout out to your apostle.
He says the greatest things though. And he was like, it takes more energy to swing and miss than it does to swing and hit. And so when you really swing, like whatever it is in life, your new job or new relationship or, when you put that energy in and you're like, yes, I'm finna hit this home run and it misses. Oh, baby, that does something to you.
After miss, after miss, after miss. Oh, okay. Because you keep
Every
trying.
time energy is leaving. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot to even cue up to be like, I'm about to hit this ball. Now I got to have the faith that I'm finna hit this. I got to have the hope that I'm about to hit this. I got to have the joy. I got to have all these things. And I cue all of that up. Swing and miss. Mm-mm. It don't turn out the way I wanted it to. The way I worked for it to. The way that it should have.
The way I calculated and planned meticulously.
It takes a lot out of you. And if you don't take care of yourself and your mental and emotional state after a swing and miss, you'll sink. And I didn't take care of myself. I didn't. I did start going to therapy because my big swing and miss was my last relationship, right? I put everything I had into that baby. And when it didn't work out, I was upset. And that was the turning point in me not being the same.
Yeah, I can agree.
That was the turning point. It sunk to a different place because some other areas of my life I was really swinging and I was really missing. But that was the turning point.
Yeah. I can definitely agree about the relationship being a definite shifter in my personality and who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely shaped a lot of what I was going through. Because that thing, going through that breakup, it was real hard because I was like, oh, this is it.
Right.
Dude, this is it.
This is it. This is
the list that I wrote. Checking it off.
God did this for me.
Mm-hmm.
He delivered on the promise.
Ooh, baby.
I'm not waiting anymore. It's over. I got it.
Pray through it. It has to be right. Got confirmation. Has to be right. Prophesied.
No, talk about it. Talk about it.
No, all
this got to be right.
No, this has to be right. Good godly man. This and that. Ooh, honoring me.
And it don't work out.
Baby. Ooh, but now, hey.
Now, of course, looking back.
Now, looking back.
Hindsight is 2020.
This man doesn't even believe. He isn't even the same man. So I thank God. But it's like, man, oh man, when it was happening.
Yeah.
But that definitely
changed
a lot of who I am.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what happens in life. We go through situations that change us.
Yeah.
Changes our heart, changes our mind, changes our spirit, changes our emotions. But we don't take care of them.
Yeah.
We just keep going, or time heals all wounds.
That is a lie. Time does not heal all wounds. It does not. Time just make you forget a little bit.
It's just not bleeding no more.
Right.
You got a scab on there.
It's a callus.
But it's not healed.
At all.
It's definitely not whole.
It's not functioning properly. It wasn't put back in alignment.
But we get comfortable functioning in dysfunction. And we think because everybody's functioning like this. Because I got told, even when I went through that breakup, oh, well, this is normal, baby. This is what women go through. All of us got to go through this.
Why is this normalized? Why is heartbreak so normal?
We're supposed to just take
a
lick,
and keep on ticking.
Keep on ticking. It's like it's dysfunctional, but we normalized it.
Yeah.
So you don't end up dealing with it because it's like, oh, I had to go through this. So I was supposed to go through this.
Yeah, it's a rite of passion.
A rite of passage to womanhood. Yeah.
The devil is alive.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all don't have to go through hurt and pain.
Heartbreak. You don't have to.
Ooh.
I don't believe that you have to. No. Now, does it teach you? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I learned so much.
Ooh.
That heartbreak, new woman.
Forged by the fire.
Okay. It'll teach you. Yeah. But I don't believe that you have to go through those things. But even if you do, man, we have to take care of ourselves.
So, TT Nia, I don't have access to a therapist. What can I do?
So there are resources to get access to a therapist. You could check with your insurance. A lot of times, even if they don't offer like mental health coverage fully, you'll get like a session or two for free, especially post-pandemic. A lot of people pulled a lot into like mental health resources. There's community centers that offer different things. And then there's also there's some that are funneled through nonprofits that you can go through. So you can always do those things. You can have a great accountability partner because I feel like even in us talking, it was therapeutic, so having somebody even who's maybe not a licensed therapist to talk to till you can get to the licensed therapist.
Until you can get to a licensed therapist.
Not in place of.
Right.
Until that also helps.
Yeah.
And then of course, spiritual leaders, they're not, well, some are.
Yeah.
But some are not licensed mental health professionals, but they can help you with the spiritual element because you do need to fight in both ways. You need to fight physically and you need to fight spiritually.
Right.
Sometimes that thing is spiritual and something is weighing on you because it's trying to get you to give up.
Yeah.
Because it knows what's on the other side of your breakthrough. So it would rather slow you down, pull you back, cause you to feel sad, bring up all the things you don't have, and that'll cause you to sink into a depression, and you need to fight that spiritually. So I feel like all of that, and I talked about that before in one of our episodes, are tools in our toolbox that we need to be able to utilize when it comes to making sure we're living the best life possible.
That's good. And I know also, though a particular therapist that you may want to go to, they may not be in your price range or something. A lot of them actually offer free therapy sessions or reduced sessions in what's called a sliding scale. So ask them that.
That's good.
Or I know that one of my old therapists at her practice, she offered free therapy, but it was by way of people who needed to get their hours. She would sit in on the session,
Gotcha.
but she would allow her people who needed hours to actually facilitate it.
That's good.
So, I mean, look around, check on Facebook, check on Instagram, all those places.
You gotta want the help.
Yeah.
You gotta want it.
Let's talk about the help. Just really quick, because we had another one of our reels, another one of our videos go really viral, and a lot of people completely understood.
Yeah,
and then a lot of people were purposefully obtuse.
Yeah, they were being obtuse. And no, I was talking about how some people don't want help. I said people. I should have said some. I'll take that. Don't want help. They want attention. Not that attention is bad.
Yeah.
Attention is good. We all want attention. We're human. We have our humanity piece where we want attention. But it's in the help being available and you not wanting to go get it because you want to stay where you are because it's comfortable, it's familiar, or, that's where you get the most attention, whether it's negative or positive. Sometimes you just want the attention.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is about going to get the help, seeking the help, taking the help when it is offered. That's what I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Not people who genuinely want it. Because people are commenting, acting like I was saying that people genuinely want help and I don't help them. I'm talking about when I offer it, when it's available, when you give it and they turn it down.
Yeah.
You got to want it. I had to search out my therapist. I had to search her out. I had to book the appointment. Mm-hmm. I had to, send the email, make the phone call and say, hey, I need to get on the books.
Right.
Now, once I was with her and we had rapport, she was able to reach out to me to start up my second round. But to initiate it, I had to do that.
Right. There was a part that you played.
I had to play my part in the midst of my emotions. I didn't use them as an excuse.
Yeah.
I said, I'm feeling this kind of way. I need to go get help. And I did it.
Yeah.
So you have to want to, and you have to seek it out. It's not going to fall in your lap.
Or even if it's so I remember when you told me that, hey, you wanted me to prioritize my mental health. I think at that particular time, I think I was Johnny on the spot with that. Oh, that was
Johnny on the spot.
I think I did it fairly quickly. But I know that also in that place, it did take a lot for me to do anything for myself. So I know that if I would have told you like, hey, okay, I'll prioritize it. Can you help me? Can you, I could have pulled on you and you would have been like, yes, because you saw that I wanted it.
Right.
And I mustered up enough to say, hey, I don't know if I can do this. I would have mustered up enough to say, hey, I don't know if I can do this. Do you think you can help me out? What are you thinking? Where should I go? What's the first thing? And you did give me your therapist information. I was emailing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think I emailed like 5 or 6 doctors. Mm-hmm. And baby, one of them, I think I'm still waiting to hear from a couple of them. Now that I think about it, but shout out to my therapist because she's awesome.
Yeah, it worked out.
It really worked out. I love my therapist. She gives me practical steps. I can talk to her like she is my homegirl, but we maintain a very professional relationship. So,
Yeah.
But I really appreciate her.
So do you have any tips for somebody who may be saying, man, based on what y'all were saying about how this feels and what this looks like, I may actually be experiencing depression and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you would tell them to do or try, tips, anything for them?
I would say take inventory of the things that you do while you're depressed. That way, if and when you do slip into it, or if it comes back up, you know what that looks like for yourself.
That's good.
Because like I shared earlier, I know when sometimes I may not be able to keep my room clean, but that car, I can clean that car out. I know how I like to ride. And when it goes too long without, it being done, I take a look. But figure out what triggers you. And if you really feel like, this conversation resonated with me, I do believe I may be depressed. The time is now. Reach out to a professional. Mm-hmm. They are a Google search away, I promise. And I'm not being funny when I say that. And then also utilize the team that you have around you. Though they may not be trained professionals, still seek them out. Talk to your friends. They want to hear from you. They want to listen. They would rather hear you speak than look at you laying down in a casket.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And I had to get that through my head when I would want to isolate myself because I knew I was feeling bad, or if I felt like I was having the same talk track, that cycle of sameness. I was like, I know they would much rather hear my problems over and over again than have to speak above my body.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. You don't, and I want to say that because I want to make it very real. People they pass away. Okay. They check on out of here. They commit suicide behind depression. So if we can spearhead this conversation of saying like, hey, I know we seem happy-go-lucky and fun and all that. And yes, we are all of those things and we're wonderful and we're doing the things, we're being adults, we're being women. sometimes this is exactly what depression looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're functioning. We have this amazingly successful show. And there'd be times we would go home and cry and just think like, oh, it's not going to get better. But we made it through those days, and we want to see you all make it through too.
That's good. That's good. It's okay to need help. It's okay to want help.
Yeah.
I do want to say we absolutely love our comments, our DMs and stuff.
Yeah.
We are not licensed professionals.
Yeah.
We get some very detailed messages, especially in regards to some of these topics, and we respond with the same thing every time. We are with you. We're praying for you. And we really advocate for you seeking out therapy.
Right.
So I know that our inbox probably going to be flooded after this, and we'll respond.
We will. Just give me some time.
Clarifying, we are not licensed professionals, and we encourage you to seek one out.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, of course, we'll keep it cute. We'll give you some auntie advice, but at the same time, we want you to get help.
Continuous. Somebody who can continually talk, who can walk it through with you. Walk it through with you. My therapist gave me such practical tips, things I could do on a daily basis that little by little helped me. I remember her telling me, just go outside and feel the sun. Just soak in some sunlight. Matter of fact, take your shoes off, go get in the grass and feel the sun. Little stuff like that you think, that ain't.
I remember you telling me that.
It makes a difference, especially because I love being outside.
Yeah.
But I was staying in the house a lot because it makes you isolate yourself. It makes you not want to go anywhere, especially because I didn't want to put on a face.
Right.
I was sad, so I didn't want to be around people and have to act like I was happy.
Especially prophetic people.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
So I stayed to myself a lot. So just going outside, right? Or just talking to you. That helps because I'm not going to sink further into it because I am expressing it, getting it out, talking about it, putting it out there, and then giving people the opportunity to be there for you. Yeah. Give them the opportunity. Yeah.
Let somebody be the friend that they are to you.
Yeah. Give them a chance. Give them a chance.
And God gonna do it too. Of course, I know we've said it all throughout this episode that Jesus and therapy and Jesus. For real, God is gonna do it. And don't think that, for whatever reason, yes, God is enough and yes, God is all. But he's given us real things to help us. We're like, oh God, we need a miracle. We need a miracle. We need a miracle. God has given the talent to doctors. Okay? You don't need a miracle. You need a pacemaker. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's going to be it.
No. Now listen. Come on. Because we sit up here and act like God, God, I need a miracle. I need you to move. Yes, and he will.
The miracle is the pacemaker.
Come on.
The miracle is the therapist.
Come on.
The miracle is the sunlight, the exercise, the whatever it is.
You think it's this grandiose gesture. And it can be very well. I hear me in the Holy Ghost, y'all. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on up.
No. We praying for healing and God is like, hey, take that vitamin. Go to the gym.
Vitamin C is low.
Come on.
Non-existent. Your iron
That's the other thing my therapist told me. She was like, you need to check your vitamin D, your iron, because that all could be contributing. Cut it out.
I didn't do anything.
That all could be contributing to that mental space. When your vitamin levels, mineral levels are off, it contributes to that too.
It does.
Maybe you might just need to take some vitamins. Of all sorts. Amen.
Get you some vitamins, y'all.
All right, child. All right, we got to go because now you cut up.
Okay.
All right, y'all. I thought that we really needed to talk about that. And we probably circle back too because I definitely want to keep y'all updated on our journey.
Yeah.
So just know that you're not alone, that we're journeying through this whole thing together and we're going to get through it.
I feel like I can see the DMs now that we're getting. I'm glad you all talked about depression. Because I don't really think that anybody talks about it, especially in the church.
Not in church.
Baby, you got to keep on going.
You feeling sad, you better pray.
You need to fast for 3 days.
Hello?
Huh? Maybe even the 5th, that thing don't really get off you. When's the last time somebody laid hands on you?
Some things don't come out. But by what?
Prayer and fasting.
All right.
And dare I say, add a therapist in there for a little razzle-dazzle.
A little.
Just a little parsley. But listen, we love you all so very much. We thank you all for all the encouraging love that you all continuously give us. And just know that when you all say something to us, we say something back. Just give us a couple of days or a couple of hours. We're going to get to you. We're going to get to you, but we love you.
Yes. All right, y'all. Well, this has been another episode of
Your Favorite Aunties podcast. Bye.